Hello, everyone.
Hello.
So last week, in our Unwavering Love group discussion, I posted the scripture Mark 10:9, which says, "What therefore God has joined together, let no man put asunder." And I asked a question, what does this verse mean to you personally in your marriage? Still waiting for some responses. So, honey, what does
Mm.
that verse in that scripture mean to you in our marriage?
In our marriage, everybody looks at their marriage that God joined them together. And with respect to that verse, what God joined together, let no man put asunder. It's basically telling me let no man divide them. Um, we are a couple, but we are individuals. We have different friends, associations, and things, so we need to be aware of who not to let in our marriage circle or into our relationship, because then certain people can drive wedges in a relationship and in a marriage, and that
Right.
just can then cause one spouse to start thinking different things. The
Mm-hmm.
grass can be greener, whatever, what have you. So that's what it means to me, is let nobody in that can um, divide the marriage or divide the couple, and you know start that process either.
Right.
There's just toxic relationships. You may not see it at first, but it's like at work and on the job. You just have those toxic individuals
Mm-hmm.
um, that just stir the environment and make things not as they should, not as positive as they could be. And as people outside of work and outside of churches and wherever we're at as couples, we could tend to have those certain individuals in our lives too that do the same thing in our marriage, whether it's a single friend that's bitter or you know somebody else that just is always driving that wedge. So that's what the verse means to me, is just be consciously aware of
Mm.
who we let in to our lives and our circles, and um, to avoid that
Okay.
division.
Very good. So, yeah, I think a lot of married couples or a lot of people take that route because you'll hear people say to other people, they'll be always like, therefore, what God has joined together, let no man put asunder. They're not going to destroy my marriage, and it's all of that. From women, especially, or even men. But when I posted the question, I really took it to another level because we tend to want to always point the finger at others. But for me, the biggest man in my marriage, the biggest man, when it says let no man, the first man I'm looking at is the man in the mirror, me. Because I am the biggest threat to my marriage. And Patrick is the biggest threat to our marriage. So if we can internalize that, if we can reflect on that to say, first of all, I'm going to look in the mirror and say, let no man, Cynthia, I am talking to you. You are that man. Let no man wreck this marriage. I'm going to do everything within my power to make sure that it works. And it was so funny today at church. Our pastor was talking about sin, and he was talking about to get redemption, and he mentioned how we personally can lack awareness, and he spoke about how people get defensive and how we blame other people. And with this verse, I think it becomes very blaming. If whatever is going on in our marriage, we think, oh, I want to blame that person because it's that person coming in our marriage. And what I really wanted to say today is that let that no man, the first no man, be you. So therefore, you are taking that responsibility to say, I am going to do everything in my marriage to make sure that my marriage lasts, that there is no infidelity, that there is no lie, that financially that we are stable, that our children are okay. Because yes, all the external things do come in, but really we are in control of our actions, and therefore the first let no man should be you. Don't you agree?
Okay.
No, I'm asking you, don't you
Yeah, I
agree?
guess we should always look at ourselves before we look at other people.
And
Just
don't
like, well, I forget what the scripture is, but it's don't look at the speck in your brother's eye when you yourself have a plank in your own. Take care of the plank in your eye first before you help your brother with his speck. So
Right. Our pastor was talking
yeah,
about that today. But don't you think, like, out of anyone in this world, like, who can affect our marriage?
yeah, the biggest impact or influencers would be us.
Right. And I think that's what people miss sometimes because they're like, it's you coming in, or it's that situation. I'm not taking, but what did I do?
Or the weather.
Or the weather. What did I do for this to happen? So, really, I just want, do we want people to look at this verse in a different way, to really self reflect, to really say, I am the no man. I am that man. And I need to set that standard in my marriage. Like my husband was saying, to not let certain people come in that's going to influence us in the wrong way or certain circumstances. We have to make that decision. So we are the biggest influence. We are the biggest troublemakers in our marriage. We are the biggest what's the word I want to use? We are the biggest what's that word, honey?
I don't know.
We that come against something that come against.
Um, I don't know what you're trying to
Honey, when somebody's coming against you, what are they? The
Conflicting.
enemy. We're
Okay.
we're the I'll use the word enemy. We're the biggest enemy in our marriage. It's not the person out there. It is us. So, let's just truly look at that scripture in that way, to self-reflect, to take it on as our own instead of using it to blame others. Tell us what you think.
Look in the mirror, like Michael Jackson said. Talk to the man in the mirror.